Okay, hello everyone. I hope you can hear us all right for YouTube. We are so happy to be here today, and we hope you have been enjoying EFPSA week so far. The time has now come for us to present our External Relations Office. We will be doing a quick presentation of all the teams within our office, and then we will be taking some questions in the end. So we can go ahead and start. If you can pass the slide, Eduardo, please. Okay, so our External Relations Office is under the supervision of the President of EFPSA. So Dayanara, the President of EFPSA, works as a supervisor and has External Relations Officer. We also have the position of Public Relations Coordinator, External Relations Coordinator, a very new incoming position of External Relations Team Member, which has just been filled, also Advocacy Coordinator and Free Advocacy Writers. At the moment, the Public Relations Coordinator position isn't filled, so watch out, there will be a call coming out very soon. And if you enjoy our presentation, take some time, check out our website, and feel free to apply and join us in EFPSA. So the main purpose of our External Relations Office is to establish and support meaningful partnerships between external entities and the Federation. And we also try to represent EFPSA appropriately externally through different ways, either in public relations, either through advocacy papers, or either through partnerships. Okay, you can pass the slide. So in our office, we have 3 teams. Firstly, we have the public relations team, which we will not be presenting today because of the situation I have mentioned. Secondly, we will have the external relations team, which me and Uroš will be presenting. And lastly, the advocacy team. So to go right ahead and present our external relations team. So I work, my name is Rosário Ferreira. I work as the External Relations Coordinator. And with me is also Uroš, who will be talking very shortly and presenting the next slides.
Hello, I'm Uroš. I'm External Relations Team Member. So basically what's purpose of our team, mine and Rosá's team, is basically like maintaining and developing EFPSA external collaborations with the aim of sharing best practices, developing beneficial collaboration, and improving the visibility of EFPSA. So how would you describe your team in 3 words? Me and Rosá would say we are very strategic when it comes to selecting organizations representing EFPSA. We're also very ambitious, and we're also very caring, not only to each other, but also like really externally. Eduardo, just pass the slide. Yeah, thank you. So basically, what are our main tasks of external relations team? As I said, maintaining and developing EFPSA external collaborations. We are improving the visibility of EFPSA. We represent EFPSA at relevant external events. We are sharing best practices with other organizations, as well as we're also actively engaging in organization and realization of access, which is European Health Psychology, European Health Psychology Students Association, and which Rosá will present later. Yeah, next slide.
Okay, so our current external relations, we have relationships with several organizations, not only in the psychology area, but in the health field and other fields as well. So in terms of psychology associations, we are connected with the SAISA Student Division, which represents students across South Africa, and also some local organizations, namely the Student Psychology Association from the University of the West Indies, which is in Trinidad and Tobago, and also the Psychology Students Association from the University of British Columbia in Canada. We are also associated to IFMSA, the International Federation of Medical Students Associations, sorry, so many names, that represents in total more than 1.2 million medical students across the world. We are also associated with the Junior Enterprises Europe, more related to business, to students trying to start their own enterprises, and also to law students. So we relate to the European Law Students Association. And finally, we are also a part of ESSAS, European Health Students Association Summit, where we work with medical students, dentistry students, and pharmaceutical students, also to represent the health field as a whole through our student representation. Okay, you can pass on the slide, Eduardo, please. Okay, so we have done lots so far, but we'd like to tell you a little bit about the main tasks that we've accomplished already so far. So firstly, we developed this social event with CISA Student Division. So we had a very fun social, educative networking event with students from South Africa, and this allowed European students to connect with students from South Africa as well. We have also been working on a very, very big project called the Mental Health Project that happens in celebration of the Mental Health Day on the 10th of October. And it was a 4-day event and a collaboration between 11 partner organizations from around the world. So this is very big, and most of our partner organizations, which I've mentioned in the previous slides, I think all of them are involved to an extent in this project. And it's still ongoing, so if you want to, please check it out on social media. It's called the Mental Health Project 2021. We are also just finishing developing the ESSAS Joint Memorandum of Understanding. This is a document that we create in order to establish formally a partnership. And so this gives a different status to our collaboration amongst health students. We have essentially been also presenting EFPSA to other organizations in several events. And we have also developed an external relations EFPSA magazine corner. So basically a space in our EFPSA magazine where external entities that we relate to can present themselves, so we can bring awareness to what they do and our relationship with them to our community and the people represented through EFPSA. Now, what's coming up? We have several tasks that we are very, very excited about, namely the external relations database. So we are currently finishing an external relations database. This means that we are joining up all the organizations, the psychology student organizations from around the world, and we are just noting them down, their activity status, who to contact from them, what they do essentially, how they work, if at a national or local level. And this is going to be truly important for us to strategically then increase our connections with organizations around the world. And of course, we are also in the process of developing other very strategic partnerships with other entities, namely the World Health Organization. So we're working on that this mandate. We are also going to collaborate with EFPSA office to improve our external relations aspects on the EFPSA website. So we want to make our website quite more accessible to people who want to engage with us, to other organizations who want to enter in contact with us and establish a relationship. So we are also going to work on that. And finally, the last goal that we really have for this mandate is to start working on an in-person exchange with an external organization. So usually we already work and develop exchanges within EFPSA, but it's normally within the member organizations of EFPSA. So what we're trying to do is develop it with other fields of study or with psychology student organizations from other continents. Okay. Now just some small pictures. This is the banner from our mental health project, which you will also be able to see on social media. And also just a few pictures from our social event with CISA SD. It was a very fun event as well. There are several pictures that we have of meetings as well, but there was no space to include everything. So hopefully at a further moment, we will be able to show you them as well. And Okay, so if you feel like you have any ideas of organizations that you would like EFPSA to be in touch with, if you have any ideas in terms of projects that you would like to see us accomplish in this area, please get in touch with us. We are always welcome to hearing all ideas, and we are looking forward to establish contact with students themselves as well, so that we can really develop things that will be meaningful to you and that you will enjoy the most. So you can always reach us at externalrelations@efpsa.org. Me and Uroš will always be here to answer your questions and listen to your ideas. And of course, also, if you want, please reach us through our EFPSA social media.
Okay, we will now move on to a different team within the External Relations Office. So hello everyone, my name is Emilia and I'm the Advocacy Coordinator, and I'm happy to be able to introduce you tonight to the whole advocacy team and what our work is and what we are actually doing in EFPSA. So the advocacy team is a part of the External Relations Office. It's composed of 4 people, me as an advocacy coordinator, and also 3 other people that work as advocacy writers. And we are all working together in order to present EFPSA's opinion on relevant issues. So you can think of us as one of the voices that speak EFPSA's mind on things that we consider to be important and that happen around us and that impact all of our lives. We mainly develop policy and position papers in which we state our opinion and our arguments, but we don't do just that. We want to take a step further and advocate for change on issues that we consider relevant given our values and our expertise as psychology students. If we are to describe our team using just 3 words, we would say that we are proactive in that it's not only do we identify relevant issues that happen around us, but we also try to take a step further and try to motivate change. So this is a necessary attribute to have. We would also say that we are very passionate about what we are doing and about having an impact. And you can see that during our meetings, which usually last longer than initially planned, and we enjoy that very much. And as an inside joke, so to say, we are all cat people in this team, and cat memes are our guilty pleasure. So we could say that there are never enough cat memes going around. Next slide, please. Okay, some main aspects from our work. We could summarize our task into 5 main categories. So first of all, we have to be always aware of ongoing issues in order to respond appropriately to what we consider relevant. Our work also implies a lot of research and documentation because we want to base our opinions on real facts and on data. So we might sometimes be collecting data from the students we are representing or from our volunteers or other populations, but we are also doing a lot of documentation work. We look into the scientific literature and other reports and public documents that we can access, so that everything that we state is based on real facts and has weight. We are also, as I was mentioning, working on developing position papers and other statements. So this is sort of a way in which we put we materialize that voice that I was talking about, but we don't stop there. Our work implies being in contact with stakeholders, both from the perspective of joining forces to advocate for causes that we consider to be important, but also the contact with stakeholders implies reaching out to people that actually hold a position of power and that actually have the means to enact change in accordance to the things that we state as important. And lastly, a part of our work consists in developing internal policies, which is basically a set of rules and practices that inform the work in EFPSA regarding different aspects. And now Sude will be presenting some of the things that we've accomplished so far and things that are coming up.
Thank you, Emilia. So I'm Sude and I'm one of the advocacy writers. We're at the part of like what we have done and what we're planning to do. So in our previous mandate, the team before us has published some policy papers, and which was about like anti-discrimination, refugee and their mental health, and open science, open access. Our team has like formed some summaries and like infographics to promote and to make them seen more in public's eye. And we also changed our name from Policy Team to Advocacy Team because it wasn't fully representing what we wanted to accomplish this mandate as a team. We wanted to focus more on advocacy in general because like writing a paper is just a step for advocating for something. Since we wanted to create changes and do more rather than just writing policy papers, the name Advocacy Team is more in line with our goals for this mandate. Speaking of our goals, we are so excited about like our collaborations, which is one with about Orcom, and we're going to create a call to action paper. And the other one is about with SAI, and it's about Stay Alive campaign. Everyone should look forward to those collaborations, I guess. And as a team, we're creating our advocacy guideline for EFPSA, for our team, for further generations. And actually, we're creating an advocacy workshop for our community. And we want to attend conferences and roundtables to expand our knowledge and also represent EFPSA in those aspects.
Okay, here you can see all four of us in that picture during one of our very productive and slightly longer meetings. You can see that although it's late in the evening, we are all smiling because we're all very engaged in what we're doing. And as a manifesto of this excitement, we have here some of the things that we consider are motivating us to be part of this team, and these are some of the things that we took with us. Of course, we are four, so tonight you can only see, unfortunately, just three of us, but we are a team of 4 people. So heads up to Anna, the team member that couldn't be present during this broadcast. Long story short, what are some of the things that we remain with from our work in EFPSA? For me personally, I just realized I absolutely love working within a team and collaborating with people, sharing knowledge and learning together with other people and from each other as well. I also found a new career path that I really consider following after I finished my mandate in EFPSA, a career path that combines pretty much all of the things that are interesting to me at this point. And I also have gained a lot of knowledge and developed my skills, and I'm pretty confident that everything that I'm learning right now is going to be very helpful to me in my future work, probably in public health and developing policies related to mental health. So now I would like to pass on to the other team members to say what are some of the things that they remained with.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eduardo. I'm one of the 3 advocacy writers within the advocacy team within the External Relations Office. And as I wrote in the slide, ever since I joined EFPSA, which was not long ago, I have developed skills relevant to my employability, such as teamwork, time management. And I have also expanded my view on what advocacy is and how I can pursue it as a psychologist. Because prior to entering the advocacy team, I thought that psychologists could only have impact to a certain extent. They could only create knowledge and pass that knowledge on to someone else so that someone else could enact change. But being part of an advocacy team has showed me that even as a psychology student, I can use my background, I can use my skills and knowledge to create that change. Anna, unfortunately, one of our 3 advocacy writers, isn't here, but she's gained just as much as all of us have. And as she wrote, she's learned skills and information that are very beneficial for her thesis. She's currently finishing her master's, and she's also very motivated to explore a future career in policymaking, which is something that most psychology students aren't even aware of. Sude, you want to tell your part?
Yeah, thank you. So the first thing I can say is, I guess, like, I met amazing people, like both like external relations office, both my team. I just love them. I'm so glad that I met them, and also improved my like writing and communication skills because it's relevant to my tasks and all. And I have learned to be more structured, which I'm not at all. Like, I'm a procrastinator, I'm not organized, but since I'm in this team, I learned to create spreadsheets and everything. So I'm structured and organized. and obviously learn more about advocacy and policy in general. So which is actually led me to be more interested in political psychology. I guess that's all.
And here is our contact info. Please feel free to reach out to us at policy@efpsa.org. We can discuss literally everything. If you guys have any idea of collaborations for maybe writing or starting a joint advocacy initiative together with some other organizations, or if you feel like you have an issue and EFPSA would be the perfect option to represent you, we can try to help you with that. Also, if you have any suggestions for us, like for example, topics that we should consider maybe to advocate on, or any kind of idea, please reach out to us. Or if you have any questions or you want any kind of support from us, we are very happy to answer to your queries. So thank you very much for your attention. And now, if you have any kind of questions for any of us from the External Relations Office, this is the moment. Okay, I can see that there is a question. How do your teams embody diversity? Is anyone that would like to reply to this? If not, I can try to reply from the perspective of the advocacy team. I think, first of all, we are very, in a way, we have very similar interests, but we are very diverse people. We have different backgrounds. We come from different countries or even different continents, but we have all been brought together by the interest for relevant issues, and by our interest for having an impact and trying to do our best to make that happen. And I think that's great. I really feel that I'm learning also from my team members, and I really like the way that all of our different styles and all of the things that we learned so far in previous experiences somehow really work very nicely together, and we really build on everything that each of us brought to the table, so to speak. And I think this is a great thing. If anyone else would like to add to this.
If I may add to what Emilia was saying, one of the first things I noticed about EFPSA is that the community is extremely diverse and international. So if you consider working with EFPSA, that's definitely among the greatest advantages. So it doesn't matter what office you're in, what team you're in, what function you're actually fulfilling, you're always going to work with people from all over Europe. So yes, we're very naturally diverse in that sense.
If you want, I can also answer from an external relations perspective. Would you like to say to answer as well, Uroš? Okay. Okay, so I think that for me and Uroš, diversity is the key term to think about when establishing connections with other organizations, because we're not only thinking about what's best for us in EFPSA as an entity, but what's best for all the students represented through EFPSA, and that is to increase our knowledge, increase our awareness of perspectives from all around the world. What do other psychology students from around the world experience? What is their path in order to become a psychologist, in order to pursue this field? And so in order to accomplish that, we try to embrace as much as possible diversity, and we try to find those connections that will allow us to embrace these different perspectives. And that is always something that we have in mind. So I think from our side, that would be it. But I don't know if you would like to add something to this, Uroš, as well.
Maybe just to add, maybe like we also like promote diversity. Like, I don't know, we had a collaboration with South African Association, Psychological Association, and like they have different perspective on scientific like research, and like they don't have like this typical Western like or European BPS model. They have like BPS plus S model, and like what we also do, we also promote like the different research, for example, perspectives which are very relevant like in our field. Yeah.
There seems to be another question. How do you work with EFPSA's other teams? Would anyone like to answer?
I think we can again answer each from our perspective. I'm sorry, I have a cat now here. He joined me. Yeah, at least from our team's perspective, we have developed a lot of collaborations with other teams, namely the training office. We are always in contact with them in order to provide workshops regarding our field to other organizations and to make sure that our working community and all students represented through EFPSA also have access to workshops regarding other areas. So for example, we organized a workshop on business development in collaboration with the Junior Enterprises Europe. So that is one of the ways we collaborate. And also we work with EFPSA office as well for our EFPSA magazine, for the restructuration of the website and all things considered. And I think we are also going to engage a lot more with organizing committees of each event in order to help them fulfill their goals of internationalization. So we're always going to make ourselves available for them. But yes, this is something that is developed depending on the goals that you have for each mandate. But you end up always communicating with several teams, like marketing, for example, the marketing office. We all end up being in touch with each other, and so it really becomes just a big community.
I would like to add something from our perspective, from the perspective of the advocacy team. First of all, you might be tempted to think that as an external relations office and as part of this office, you are mainly oriented towards, of course, working with externals, which is true, but at the same time, you take with you everything that EFPSA has to offer, and we have a lot to offer. We are a very big organization. We have multiple teams, each of them doing their own thing, but at the same time, there are so many opportunities for collaboration. And for example, in the case of our team, we've already collaborated or started collaborating with a lot of other teams. So for example, we collaborated with the marketing office in order to promote our team, and also some of the papers that Sude was mentioning earlier on social media. We also started collaborating with Social Impact Initiative, which you will have a chance to see, I guess, in the following days. We are trying to, we are working with them towards launching a new campaign, and of course that would be best accompanied by a statement paper. So we are really into making that happen. We are also collaborating with the organizing committee of the conference, of this year's EFPSA conference that will take place in Portugal. We are working together with them on creating a call to action based on the topic of their conference, which is community psychology. So keep an eye out for that. And I don't even know, like we have so much room for collaboration, as I was saying, because each team has its own focus, and they're working so closely to aspects that are very relevant to the students that we are representing as a federation. So there's always room, at least from the perspective of our team, of the advocacy team, there's always room to speak our minds on something that is relevant. And here is where the input of other teams would come in. So as for example, something else that comes to my mind is something that happened last year when our team collaborated with the Journal of European Psychology Students on writing the open access paper that you can see on our website. So that is a perfect example of us having the expertise of writing a paper and other team having a very specific expertise on the topic of the paper, and we all work together towards making that happen.
I don't think there are any more questions as of now. Okay, so there are no more questions. We can wrap up. Any final thoughts, anyone? Well, thank you all so much for watching our presentation. This was the External Relations Office. I hope everyone watching got a sense of what we're working towards and how we function and what our goals are. Just as a reminder, at 7, there will be another presentation, this time from the Partnerships Office. So if you're interested, stick around and watch it. And thanks everyone for the attention.